Hey everyone, Tess from Evergreen Knits. Today I'm going to be showing you how to knit the pockets for my Everbloom cardigan. Please, if you find this video useful, like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. It makes a big difference for me. So what I've done here already is rows 1 through 9, which are pretty simple. I've got my laptop back here. Rows 1 through 9, you're really just slipping, knitting and purling and knitting through the back loop, so it's pretty self-explanatory. So I wanted to start here at row 10, and row 10 is where you create the leaves for the base of the flower that's on this pocket. So what we're gonna do, I'm using my circular needles, so you could definitely use straight needles for this. Row 10, which is right side, we're gonna go ahead and slip 1 purlwise, then knit 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then the pattern says knit into 3 rows below the 3rd stitch on the left needle. Okay, so what that means is the 3rd stitch in, so 1, 2, 3 on the left needle, and then we're going 3 rows down. Starting with, so the 1 right below it. 1, 2, 3. You can see that right there. I've enlarged that hole a little bit. And what you're going to do is knit into it and pull up to create flower leaf. That's what the pattern says. So we're gonna, just like you would go in here to knit, we're gonna go in here to knit. You can see that coming through the back. We're gonna take our yarn, push it through a little more so you can see. Loop it around just as if to knit, and then you're going to pull up. And what you want to do is kind of find that balance between pulling it up too much and pulling it too tight, but honestly a little too loose is probably better if you had to pick between the two. So once we do that, we knit 4 through the back loop. So we'll go ahead and go with this working yarn, again not pulling too tight, because we want to keep this nice and loose and long for our stem. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. And why we're knitting through the back loop is it's creating this sort of nice twisted background that you can see for the flower. So we've knit 4 through the back loop, and then what we're going to do is go back into that same hole down here, 3 rows down, and pull up again to create a second leaf. So it's basically both leaves are coming from that same spot. And this one is more difficult, I'm gonna say. It's really awkward. So you just make sure that you're going into the same hole, and then what I do is kind of push the stitches up and sort of hold here and dive into that same hole, loop it around. It's gonna look messy, but again, all you're doing is doing a knit stitch, and then again pulling up like you did for the first one. And you can see how that sort of creates a mirror image here. And then we are going to knit 1 through the back loop as per the pattern. Again, don't pull that too tight as you continue to knit along the row. I'm going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then knit that last one through the back loop. And doing that and slipping the first one creates that nice selvage edge, which is going to make things a lot easier for you when you are sewing on this pocket at the end. And I'll have a video for that as well. Okay, so row 11. It's going to be a long video, but of course scroll through if you need, if you don't need guidance on every single row. Row 11, we slip 1 purlwise, which means with yarn in front. We knit 1, 2, 3, 4. We purl 1 here, and then you can see that we are up to this stem stitch that we created, that we pulled up from the bottom. What it says here, it says slip 1 knitwise with yarn in front. So we're actually going to keep the yarn back here, which is the front, which is a little bit confusing, but yarn in front. And then we're going to slip knitwise into this stitch, right? So we're just slipping that over. Then we're going to purl 4, and because we already have this yarn in the back, that's easy. Because if we kept it in the front, 2, 3, 4, you'd have this sort of weird overlap, and that would ruin the look of the flower. So now we're up to the next stitch, and what it says here, slip 1 knitwise with yarn in front, same deal. Slip that over. And then we pull this around. We knit 4. 1, 2, sorry, my hands are all over the place today, guys. It's awkward to knit with a tripod in front of your face. 3, 4, and then knit 1 through the back loop. And that is row 11. Let's see how this is looking. So back on the right side, you can see we have these little leaves. They're looking really cute. So 12, we are going to slip 1, knit 4. There's definitely a pattern here, as you can see. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're up to that stem stitch again, and what we are going to do here is knit 2 together through the back loop. So we're taking this one that we pulled up and the one next to it, and we are knitting those together, and what that does is sort of anchor that stem down, okay? And then we knit 3 through the back loop. Again, that's just sort of like the background of this flower. 1, 2, 3. It's a little tight for some reason. I'm knitting really tight today. And then again, knit 2 together through the back loop, and we're doing that with, again, this other stem and the following stitch. Knit 2 together through the back loop, that anchors it down, and then knit 4, knit 1 through the back loop. Again, that repeats kind of on either side of the flower. 4, knit 1 through the back loop. Okay, and so now we have our little stems, and you can see that sort of this frame is starting to form around the flower, which I think is so sweet. 13, again, it's pretty intuitive, not counterintuitive. You go back to slip 1, knit 4, purl 5, knit 4, knit 1 through the back loop. Trying to do 1, 2, 3, whoop, 4. And again, I'm only holding this yarn double because that's what I had to do to get gauge for this particular yarn. 2, 3, purl 4, purl 5. This is such an awkward way to knit, guys. I never knit on a table. Okay, knit 4, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, knit 1 through the back loop. Okay, so this next row, row 14, so we're on the right side again, here's where we're going to pull up into that same hole again, but it's going to be centered. So we're going to be creating the flower stem in the same way that we created the flower leaves. So again, row 14, slip 1, bring that around, knit 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we knit 2 through the back loop. So we got into our little frame area. Oops. Ooh. Alright, let's fix this. Okay, 1 through the back loop, 2 through the back loop, and let me make sure I didn't mess up. Slip 1, knit 2, 4. Oops, I need to do 1 more through the back loop. Good thing I double checked that, everyone. Okay, so row 14, slip 1, knit 4, knit 2 through the back loop. Then we're going to knit into this same hole 1 more time, pulling that yarn around, pulling it through, pulling it all the way up. Don't be shy. Okay. Then we knit 3 through the back loop, just getting a little more yarn here. And again, don't pull too tightly here. So knitting 3 through the back loop. 1, 2, 3 through the back loop. 4 normal knit stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 knit through the back loop. Okay, we're getting there, and see, now we have this cute little stem that comes up. Flip it around again. This is what the back will look like, which is also kind of cool in itself. Kind of looks like a starfish. 15 on the wrong side here. Slipping 1, knitting 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, purling 3, 1, 2, 3, and now I think we've gotten up to our stem that we just pulled up. Yep, there it is. So it says to slip 1 knitwise, so we are going to do that, coming in the front, slip 1 knitwise, purl 2, 1, 2. It always bothers me when patterns just say to slip 1, because how you slip it, whether it's knitwise or purlwise, definitely makes a big difference. So we just slipped and purled twice. Then we're going to knit 4, knit 1 through the back loop, as we have been doing. I should really have some background music going, guys. Probably a little bit boring for everybody. I should also stop saying guys. Okay, and knit 1 through the back loop. Y'all, folks. Okay. 16, here we go. We're almost up to the bobble, which is going to be row 17. Oh, no, Tess. Slip 1 purlwise for row 16. Knit 4. 1, oh, where'd that come from? Knit 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we knit 2 through the back loop. Again, that's that sort of like nice background frame with the twisted stitches. And then here we're up to our stem again. We're going to knit 2 together through the back loop, just like we did with the leaves, to anchor that stem down. Knit 2 through the back loop. Knit 4 and knit 1 through the back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, knit 1 through the back loop. Right, and now we are to row 17. Our flower is almost done. It just needs the little bobblehead on the top. So row 17, on the wrong side, we're going to slip 1, knit 4, as per usual. Slip 1, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, purl 2, which is again like our little background. Now, here's where we bobble. Okay, get plenty of yarn, plenty of working yarn. So what we're going to do here is we're going to knit into this stitch, but we are not going to remove this stitch from the left needle. So we're going to go in, maybe I should zoom in a little bit here. Ooh, okay, perfect. So we're going to knit it, again, as you knit, but do not take this off. It is such an instinct of your knitter to pull that off. Don't do it. So pull this through, give yourself a good amount of room, and then what we're going to do, according to the pattern, is wrap our yarn around this needle and knit into the stitch again. So actually what we're going to do is wrap it, we're going to want to wrap it this way so that our yarn is again in the position to knit. Okay, so wrap it, knit it again, not taking this left stitch off. So wrap and knit again, and then we wrap this way and knit again, And then one more time we wrap and knit again. And this time we let the stitch fall off the left needle. Okay, so that's step one. You can see we got this big old clump of stitches here. Now, all of those that we just created, you can see they're all coming from the same hole. So we don't want to pull any of this in. So we're going to take all of these back onto the left needle. And this part is a little bit tricky. You might have to wiggle with it a little. It totally depends, it really depends on the fiber that you're using and the needles that you're using, just how sort of easy this is. You can see that I'm struggling with it, and even actually doing like a few at a time can be helpful, except then, oh my gosh guys, this is difficult. So, okay, you've slipped them all back onto the left needle. There's your bobble, that's what's going to turn into the flower. And then what you need to do is somehow get this right needle back through the front here, because you're going to purl them all together. So here I am, of course, wishing I had used my Xiaogu metal needles, which are much pointier. And that definitely can make things a little bit easier when you're trying to purl something together. So, oh my goodness, guys, this is difficult. And this is my first time doing it with this yarn too. Alright, we're just going to go for it. We're going to try our best. We're going to hope that's it. Oh my gosh, and we didn't put our yarn in the front. This is real life, people. This is knitting. Okay, so yarn in front, because that's what you need to do to purl. Then somehow get all those through. You can do it, Tess. There we go. Wrap it around, really wedge it in there. Oh my gosh, and she's done it. She's done it. Ta-da! And there's your flower. Whew, that was a wild ride, guys. Okay, and then you want to kind of pop those bobbly stitches in front to make sure they stay in the front of your work. So the back of where you're right now, and purl 2. And that sort of locks them in place, that stitch right afterwards. Purl 2, and we're back to our usual knit 4, knit 1 through the back loop to end the row. Oh my goodness. Okay, we are going to stop there because the rest of the rows are just like you did in the beginning, very simple, so I won't make you watch me do that, but look how cute that flower is. Worth the effort, huh? That purling all those together really almost defeated me today, folks, but not today. All right, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. If this was helpful, also please leave a comment below, and I can't wait to see what you create.